Hello students, in human health and diseases, yesterday in the previous class I was telling you about AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome it is called. It is not a disease caused by birth, it is a disease acquired by our lifestyle habits, we can say. So it is called acquired immunodeficiency disease, it can be called. It is something different from autoimmunity. In autoimmunity, there will be self-destruction happens, but here there will be acquired immunodeficiency caused. Now, in the previous class, I was telling you that HIV is the virus which causes this AIDS. Human immunodeficiency virus, it is called. This virus is containing RNA as its genetic material. And how does it affect the human cells? We have seen already. It will affect, this RNA virus can affect our macrophages present in the connective tissues. Also, they can affect our T lymphocytes also. When T lymphocytes are infected by this HIV, what happens means neither there will be warning given to the B lymphocyte happening here, nor there will be graft rejection like that. Both activities of the T lymphocytes will be decreased. That is why it is called immunodeficiency disorder. So T lymphocyte count decreases in the person's body. So when lymphocyte themselves, the immune system themselves are affected, we cannot identify any other foreign molecule entering into our body. Let us come to that point afterwards. In the previous lecture, I was telling you how RNA virus infect our body. When this virus infects the human cell, it will send only its RNA into the human cell actually. Only viral RNA will enter into the human cell, remember. Protein code will be left outside as it is. Only RNA, nucleic acid will come inside. After coming inside, this viral RNA will undergo reverse transcription in the cytoplasm. Reverse transcription means from the RNA, DNA will be produced. That is called as reverse transcription. For that, an enzyme called reverse transcriptase enzyme is involved. That enzyme production will be induced by this viral RNA. So that we will get a viral DNA now here. It is called as viral DNA. In the next step, this viral DNA enters into the nucleus of our cell. It may be a macrophage or a T lymphocyte. It will enter into the nucleus of that cells actually. In the nucleus, we have got our own chromosomes here. With the chromosome, this viral DNA will get incorporated, remember, they will get attached with our DNA. So that our DNA plus viral DNA, both of them will start functioning in our cells. During this process, what happens? Normal transcription occurs in the nucleus, and that normal transcription will produce viral RNA again in addition to our own RNAs. Our own RNAs are produced. In addition to that, viral RNA will also be produced. These viral RNAs are produced in multiple copies. Hundreds of viral RNAs are synthesized by using our genome and our metabolic machinery. Because of this viral RNAs, more number of viral RNAs, protein synthesis or translation will take place. Each viral RNA will be surrounded by its own protein covering like this. So we are getting hundreds of copies of viral RNA particle or viral particles we are getting inside. This is how the HIV multiplies in our cells. Due to this multiplication, hundreds of HIV will be produced in our cells, and finally they will burst open the cell and enter into neighboring cells here. By this mechanism, they will be going on destroying our T lymphocytes and macrophages. When the number of T lymphocytes are decreasing, our immune system becomes deficient in its work. Our immune system cannot identify self and non-self cells, or it cannot identify the foreign cells actually. When our immune system becomes deficient, our body can be attacked by any kind of pathogen. That is the problem with the AIDS patient actually. This HIV does not kill the person directly, but by reducing the efficiency of T lymphocyte or by reducing the number of T lymphocytes, the person's resistance power will be affected. When a person's resistance power is affected, even a common cold can kill that person. Remember this point. A slight cold, a pneumonia, otherwise some mumps and other viral or bacterial diseases easily enter into his body, and it can be taking more time for getting cured. In severe cases, that mumps and other things, pneumonia-like things, they will kill the patient itself. So, AIDS patient is not killed by HIV, but HIV paves the way for entry of other pathogen, and he will develop severe symptoms, lot of symptoms in his body. There will be unwanted intermittent fever caused by this type of T lymphocyte destruction. There will be dysentery, unexpected dysentery will be caused, loose motion we are getting, or dysentery-like conditions are caused. There will be decrease in the protein molecule or number of our muscle cells and other things. Due to that, finally the person dies because of this condition. Now remember how to identify the presence of HIV in our body. For that, there is a special test called as ELISA test is performed for identification of HIV in our body. The word ELISA refers to enzyme linked immunosorbent assay technique it is called. Enzyme linked immunosorbent assay technique, that is called as ELISA test we are doing. We send some artificial antibodies over which these antibodies will go and bind with the HIV virus or that RNA particle and other things. Those antibodies should not be destroyed means we link an enzyme along with it and send it. So a color-coded enzymes and other things will be, antibodies will be sent into the body to test the T lymphocyte. When they go and attach with the T lymphocyte, we can understand the rate of destruction of T lymphocyte. How fastly the number of T lymphocyte decreases in that person, we can calculate by periodic testing. That kind of quantity is called, quantitative analysis is called assay we are doing. So you are quantitatively measuring the number of T lymphocytes. If a number of T lymphocyte destruction is more and more happening in a person's body, it indicates he suffers due to HIV infection. Okay. How this HIV infection takes place? What are the causes for this HIV infection? We must know. So the reason for HIV infection we have to study here. The first and very important point is what is that? Sexual contact with the infected person will be one reason for this. The sexual contact with the infected person is one of the reasons we can see. When a person is suffering due to, a woman or man is suffering due to HIV infection, AIDS, if another healthy person keeps sexual contact with him, through that reproductive fluid, this virus can enter to the non-person or the non-affected person. That is one important point. Sexual contact with the patient, we can say, with the affected person becomes one reason. Another reason where the HIV infection spread from person to person is wrong, otherwise contaminated blood transfusion, we can say. Contaminated blood transfusion becomes another category. Blood transfusion. You know, blood transfusion happens in different conditions of ailment. Maybe during pregnancy or due to accident or due to some injuries, even anemia and other conditions, dialysis and various other parts, we have to do the blood transfusion for a patient. During that blood transfusion, we have to check the matching of antigen antibody, that is okay. Compatibility of blood group we are checking. But in addition to that, we should check that whether the blood donated by a person contains HIV or not, we have to check. So that HIV, presence of HIV should be checked before transfusion into the body. So that is one of the reasons why the AIDS virus can spread from person to person. So either by sexual contact with the affected person, or by getting blood from the affected person, or by using of syringes and needles from the affected person, we can see. During surgery and other things, we use needles and syringes. During intravenous drug injection, there will be syringes used actually. When there is a peer groups or friends and other things, when the person is involved in narcotic drug, one injection or one syringe will be used by group of people, group of friends together. During that time, among that group, if anyone is having HIV infection, all the members of that group will be affected by using the same syringe. So contaminated syringes, contaminated needles become another reason for causing the disease. These are all happening in our day-to-day life. We must be careful about the usage of needles and syringes. Fourth reason or fourth cause for transmitting the AIDS will be vertical transmission. We are getting here. Vertical transmission. What is vertical transmission means? This HIV virus can spread from the mother to the child also. If a pregnant woman is infected by HIV, she can pass that HIV to the developing embryo in her uterus through the placenta. So, from generation to generation, if HIV is transmitted, it is called vertical transmission. These three are called horizontal transmission from person to person. But this is called vertical transmission, we can say here, mother to the child. From mother, affected mother becomes pregnant and she can pass that infection to the child also. So remember one point, there are four reasons for causing of this HIV infection. One is a sexual contact with affected person. Another one is a contaminated blood transfusion between the people. Usage of contaminated needles and syringes, we can say here. The needles and syringes, when they are contaminated by HIV, that can spread from person to person, we can say here. And vertical transmission becomes another reason. Dear students, here you can understand one important point. HIV does not spread from person to person just by mere physical contact. By just touching a person physically or touching an AIDS patient, we do not get that disease. It is not like other communicable disease like pneumonia or even that corona or other things. It is passing from person to person only by means of ignorance, we can say. If a person is affected with HIV, he should not involve in sexual contact. That is one important point. He should not have multiple partners in his life. That awareness is one important point, so that he cannot transmit the disease from him to another person, we can say. His partner, we can say here. Similarly, use screening the blood properly before transfusion. Before donating the blood from a donor to recipient, the doctor, otherwise that pharmaceutical or that diagnostic of things, they have to screen the blood properly. They have to check the presence of HIV in that or not. If HIV is present in that blood should be discarded. It should not be donated to another person. So that is awareness we have to create. Thirdly, usage of drugs, needles and syringes contaminated. That is why nowadays, according to the World Health Organization, in every diagnostic laboratories and other hospitals and medical centers, we use disposable needles here. For every time there will be one disposable needle will be used and it will be thrown away. So that the usage of one needle with many people, that should be avoided. That is one awareness we have to get. Next to that, an affected mother or an affected lady should not become pregnant. She should avoid pregnancy so that the next generation will be safe. It will not be infected with HIV. She will not be a carrier to the next generation. That is one important point we have to remember. So in all these categories, spreading of AIDS is mainly based on lack of awareness or ignorance, we can see. When a affected person doesn't have any awareness about his body, he may be able to spread that disorder from person to person. So, they need not be isolated physically. Psychologically, they need not be treated with branding them as an AIDS patient and other things. Only thing is, their blood and body fluid should not contact with another person. The blood, regular direct touching of his blood or body fluid or reproductive fluid becomes one important condition. Even in saloons or barber shops also, there is a chance for using the same blade or same razor and other things, which may spread the HIV condition. So there must be carefulness by keeping distance. Just like we are talking about social distancing for COVID. Here also for HIV also, there must be proper awareness created for this purpose. So World Health Organization and different type of NGOs, non-governmental organization, voluntarily they teach these conditions to the public actually. And there is a National AIDS Control Organization developed by Central Government of India, you might have seen. There will be a red ribbon in the symbol like this, they are using that. That is called a NACO, National AIDS Control Organization. Through that organization and different voluntary organization called a non-governmental organization, awareness have been created among people. They distribute free condoms for prostitutes, otherwise sex workers we are telling, so that the transmission of AIDS-like condition HIV will not be done here. You have studied about the importance of condom as a physical barrier in reproductive health. So this type of organizations, they create knowledge about HIV infection through pictures or through TV serials or advertisement or many ways, even through the pamphlets and other books and everything, they are transmitting that knowledge. So awareness is the important thing for avoiding the AIDS. Otherwise what will happen? It will spread from person to person. More than 25 millions of people have died due to this AIDS throughout the world within last 2 or 3 years we can see. So it has become such a dreadful disease. We have to remember the point here. And HIV infection immediately will not show any symptom. Remember, there is no physical symptom shown by the HIV infection. And AIDS person, AIDS patient will appear normal only. There won't be any physical symptom shown, morphological symptom shown by his body. But where he will become point means he will become weak in his immune system. His T lymphocyte count will reduce, and he can be infected by different type of pathogens, other pathogens like other bacteria, virus and fungal infection. So when a person is getting frequent fever, dysentery, diarrhea and all these things, there must be some point related to his immune system. So T lymphocyte count should be monitored periodically in our blood. It will indicate whether we have HIV infection or not. If HIV infection is there, it is not a panic one. That person has to maintain properly this contact, whatever that body fluid contact should not be transmitted to others. There are many drugs, many medicines tried to avoid this retrovirus transcription. This retrogressive transcription can be prevented by using certain drugs also. Zidovudine is a type of drug which is used for curing this disease nowadays. But of course, there is no permanent or 100% success related to the use of this zidovudine. It can be maintained to some extent. That person's lifetime can be prolonged rather than killing. So remember that the temporary cure happening for this AIDS. This is regarding AIDS and HIV infection. Please make note of this. I will continue within few seconds. We shall see about next disease called cancer. Please make note. So students, regarding AIDS, 5-mark question can be asked. You must know what is the definition for AIDS, which organism causes that disease, and how it is spread from person to person. All these things we have to remember. In another 5-mark question, there can be a life cycle of AIDS virus can be asked with a diagram also. The diagram is given in your textbook. Please go through that. Try to remember this. As I told you earlier, either malarial parasite or this HIV life cycle can be asked in 5-mark question. For both the diagrams are available in your textbook also. In printed notes also, we will give you the diagram. You have to be thorough about transmission of otherwise, but the life cycle of these pathogens, remember. And even how to avoid it, everything we have seen here. Let me go to another disease. Since the name of this lesson is about human health and disease, we are going to study about 2 major type of diseases here. Of course, common diseases we have studied already, and some idea about our immune system we got already. Now let me tell you about another disease, second type of disease called cancer here. AIDS I told you, now we will see about cancer. What is this cancer? How to define the word cancer means? Remember, the word cancer can be defined as uncontrolled, rapid division of cells in our body. Uncontrolled rapid division of cells of our body will be called as cancer, we can say here. A normal cell, healthy cell, if you take, means either in the laboratory condition or in our own body, in vivo or in vitro condition, if you observe a cell, means that a normal cell has got its own speed of multiplication, otherwise division we can say. The rate of mitosis or meiosis will be regulated by the genes present in the cells here. Are you getting my point? When there is a normal cell in our body, the division of that cell to become two daughter cells will be depending upon the genetic matter here. So our genes will regulate how many times per minute or per hour, how many times our cell should divide. That is controlled genetically, that is regulated genetically in a healthy and normal cell. But when the same normal cell becomes a cancer cell, imagine, in a cancer cell, if you observe means, the rate of cell division is not controlled by our genes. Our genes will lose the ability to control the rate of cell division. Because of that, what happens? Within a short duration, the number of cells will be increasing here. That means that one cancer cell will become 2, 2 will become 4, 4 will become 8 like that. Suppose if a lung cancer is there in a person means, his alveolar cells or the cells lining the alveoli will multiply very fastly. They will increase in size. That increased mass of cells cause with uncontrolled rapid cell division will be known as tumor in our body. It is called as a tumor in our body. So, what is the reason for cancer means? It is uncontrolled rapid cell division. Why this cell should behave like this? Why it should undergo uncontrolled cell division? I will tell you the reasons later. Now let us see what is this tumor. It is the mass of cancer cells. Mass of cancer cells will be called as a tumor, we can say. Mass of cancer cells. This tumor can be of two types in a person. We can get 2 types of cancer cells or 2 types of mass of cancer cells. One type of tumor is called as benign tumor. One type of tumor is called as benign tumor, B-E-N-I-G-N, remember. Another type of tumor is called as malignant tumor. So 2 types of tumors are possible in the cancer. One is benign tumor, another one is malignant tumor. What is the difference between these 2 types of tumor means? Benign tumor will be a localized tumor, otherwise localized cancer will be called as a benign tumor actually. Localized means in whichever organ it is started, it will remain in that organ only. It does not spread from that organ to other parts of the body. For example, if uterus gets cancer, if the cells lining the endometrium suddenly becomes cancerous, they will produce tumor, but the tumor does not spread to other parts of the body. So they will remain in that organ only. That is called localized tumor, otherwise benign tumor we can say. But there is another condition called malignant tumor. In the case of malignant tumor, the tumor cells may get rid of, they will be sloughed off. Sloughed off means they will get detached from the normal condition. They will start spreading from organ to organ in the body. The cancer cells will spread among different parts of the body. Such a type of spreading of the cancer cells will be called as malignant tumor, we can say. Here the cancer cells spread from one part to another part. If a brain tumor happens in a person, it need not be localized in the brain itself. From there, some of the cancer cells may get away from that tumor. They will spread through our blood, lymph and other things. Somewhere they will get stored. Again there they will produce new tumors. Do you get my point? This kind of spreading of cancer cells through the body fluid is otherwise known as metastasis, we can say here. Often it is asked in one more question, What is metastasis? It is nothing but a spreading of malignant tumor cells. When malignant tumor cells spread from place to place in your body, then it is called metastasis, and that type of cancer is called malignant tumor. From these 2 points, we can say which is more dangerous. Among benign and malignant tumor becomes highly dangerous. Even if you remove the tumor by surgery and other things, there may be some remnants of the tumor cell which will be spread through the blood. They will settle in some other place. There you will get the tumor again. This is what happening in the case of tumor actually. What is tumor? It is a mass of cancer cells, we can say. Now another point we have to remember is, sir, when the normal cells or when the cells are multiplying more and more, it will be good for our body. Why should we bother about it? Why should we call it as a disease? We can answer. Simply by increasing the number of cells, growth of the organ will take place. Why we should bother about as a cancer here? Do you get my point? I hope you may ask this question. Cancer cells, why we should bother about cancer cells? They are simply dividing and becoming more and more number. But remember one interesting point. All the newly formed cells will be useless cells of the body. They don't perform any function. In alveoli, if cells become cancerous and if you get rapidly dividing tumor cells, it doesn't mean that our rate of breathing will be increased. In the brain, if cancer cells are formed and we are getting brain tumor means, it doesn't mean that our intelligence will increase. All the newly divided cancer cells will be useless in function. They will be functionless in our body. Remember this point. So I am talking about characters of cancer cells. One of the very important characters is the newly formed tumor cells will be useless in our body. They are functionless in our body. Second point you can remember here is these newly formed cells will be called as neoplastic cells here. They will create neoplasm in our body. What is this neoplasm? Remember this word. Often in one mark question it will be asked here. So the first point is cancer cells are functionless. Even though they are produced in more number, we don't get any benefit out of it for our body. Second point is these cells are neoplastic cells. What is the neoplastic cells? The newly formed cancer cells will not look like a normal cell. A normal cell will have endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, nucleus, well-developed chromosome, everything will be there. But in a neoplastic cell, if you see these, several cellular deformities would have been occurring here. That means their endoplasmic reticulum will be not regular in shape. Their Golgi body will not be proper in shape and function. Their ribosomes may not function properly. So all cell organelles will be affected because of this cancer. So due to that affected cell organ, I am not talking about organ, I am talking about cell organelles. Internally, tumor cell will be different from normal cell. If at all you observe two cells under a microscope, normal cell will have properly developed cell organelles, whereas cancer cells will have ill-developed, non-developed, non-functional cell organelles. Such a cell will be called as neoplasm or neoplastic cell, we can say. There is the third function causing or third property of a cancer cell. These cancer cells lack, L-A-C-K, I am writing, they lack contact inhibition. Remember this point. Cancer cells do not have contact inhibition. What is the contact inhibition? Please listen. Important point here. Contact inhibition means, imagine, if you take some normal healthy cells of our body and culture them in a laboratory medium by providing all the nutrients. You provide all the minerals, carbohydrate, protein, everything, and you culture that cell in the laboratory medium in a petri dish. You are culturing it. The normal cells will divide. They will become some 4 or 5 cells. And because of that proliferation or dividing and dividing, they will start touching with each other or they will become contact with each other. Once if they come in contact with each other, once if they have more contact on every side, they will stop dividing further division. They will not divide further. Do you get this point? If normal cells contact each other, their ability to divide will be stopped. That is called contact inhibition we are doing. They will inhibit the cell division due to contact. So there must not be more physical contact between the dividing cells. They should be freely available so that they can multiply further. But that property of contact inhibition is absent in the tumor cells. Remember, if you take a tumor cell in a petri dish or laboratory condition, they will go on dividing rapidly, uncontrollably, and they will become a tumor actually. They don't inhibit each other. Just because of touching each other, they don't inhibit each other. They will become group of cells. So here contact inhibition is absent. Here contact inhibition is present. Normal cells have contact inhibition. They will inhibit the cell division due to contact. But if tumor cells do not inhibit, they will go on dividing without any problem. They will go on dividing even if they are in contact with each other. So absence of contact inhibition becomes one character of cancer cells, we can see. Another point I told you here is already metastasis. Cancer cells are able to travel from one place to another place in our body through the body fluid. That is called metastasis. Other cells do not move except our WBC, we can say. Cancer cells are able to move from place to place. Except the blood tissue, other cells are located in different organs only. But here, cancer cells are able to move or spread from place to place. That movement is called metastasis. So what are the properties of cancer cell? They are functionless. They are neoplastic cells. They will have cellular organelle deformities. They do not have contact inhibition. They have got metastasis. All these points we have to remember. Now let me tell you what are the causes for this cancer. How cancer is caused in our body. How normal cell suddenly becomes a tumor cell, that we have to see. There are different reasons for causing the cancer. It may be due to physical causes, we can say. Physical reasons or physical causes, we can say. Physical causes in the sense means due to X-ray radiation, frequent X-ray radiation on our body, on our cells. Overdose of gamma radiation or ultraviolet radiation and all may cause cancer in our body. Especially skin cancer and eye-related, vision-related conditions, they are all caused by this type of physical variation. Different type of radiations, different frequent exposure to those radiation and the quota of that, quantum of that radiation, they are all intensity, they are all determining the cancer here. That is called a physical character, we can say. There can be chemical reason also. Chemical causes are also there. Chemical causes means due to the consumption of certain chemicals, knowingly or unknowingly we can say. When pesticides are sprayed through the food and when we consume those pesticides, due to what is that continuous consumption, frequent consumption, level of pesticides increase in our body. They will be magnified in our body, that may result in poisoning or causing of cancer cells. When we smoke, the nicotine present in that smoke and other chemicals present in the smoke, they will be responsible for causing cancer. It may be tar particle or other carbon particle which will irritate our cells and make them to cancer like that. There can be biological conditions also for causing the cancer. Remember this one. Biological condition. Infection of the normal cell by some viruses called oncovirus will result in causing the cancer actually. Oncovirus infection is called. Oncovirus. Those oncovirus will have oncogenes. When those genes produce some protein, it will make our cells to suddenly become tumorous, suddenly to undergo uncontrolled cell division. They are not only viruses, even in our body, we are having some cells called tumor-inducing cells also. TI cells they are called, not T lymphocyte, they are TI cells. Tumor-inducing cells they can become. These tumor-inducing cells will have proto-oncogenes in our body. We will have proto-oncogenes. Proto-oncogenes will be inactive in a person's body always. But due to some triggering, due to some other conditions, stress and other things, sometimes a proto-oncogene may get activated. It will become functional oncogene actually, that will cause cancer. So dear students, study about cancer is otherwise known as oncology. The person who is expertised in this field of cancer, study about cancer is called oncologist, we can say. Proto-oncogene is present in our cells in inactive stage, but when it is triggered, when it is switched on, they may behave like cancer cells that will cause cancer in our body. So these are the physical reasons, chemical reasons, biological reasons we can say. There is no mathematical reason for causing cancer. Physics, chemistry, biology. Just remember, these three reasons, causes are there for causing the cancer in our body. Finally, to complete this part of this lesson here, regarding cancer, we must know what are the treatments that can be done for cancer cells. Treatment we can use. What are the treatment done here? We have to see. Again, the treatment for cancer cells become one important point. Before treating the cancer cell, we must know about diagnosis also. First, you have to identify whether our cells are having cancer or not, whether they divide rapidly or not. We have to check. Diagnosis of cancer can be done by 2 or 3 methods actually. One is called as biopsy method we are doing, or otherwise histopathology method it can be called. Biopsy or histopathology becomes one type of method here. Suppose if a person is getting some intestinal pain again and again, or if we are getting difficulty in breathing like that, or we are getting some dizziness or some kind of inactiveness, fatigueness in the brain means we are suspecting that he may be having cancer. So what we do, how to confirm the presence of cancer means by doing biopsy test here. We collect the tissue of that person from the affected organ or from the complained part like that. That tissue will be analyzed for this neoplasm and other conditions. If they do not have contact inhibition, if they are growing rapidly in the laboratory condition, then it can be found that it is a cancer cell. In histopathology also, presence of that oncovirus and other things can be detected by using some chemicals and other medicines we can see. So that is histopathology or biopsy, it can be done. There is another condition known as CT scan is also done for determining the presence of cancer or a tumor in our body. Computer tomography it is called. The word CT scan refers to computer tomography condition. In this computer tomography, what we do means a three-dimensional view of an organ will be studied with the help of computer screen actually. By sending some probes and other things, we can study the complete organ structure. By measuring the organ size and pancreas means it should have proper size. Kidney means it should have a particular size, we know that, average size and with the depth of that organ like that. So that the three-dimensional view of the organ will tell us whether we have any tumor in our body. Breast cancer and other type of uterine cancer are easily identified by the CT scan actually. A woman may be believing that she has become pregnant and the embryo is growing in her uterus. But finally it can be found that it is a tumor. So how that tumor can be identified means it is due to CT scan we can see. And there is another method called MRI scan also done for detecting the cancer cells. Presence of tumor can be identified by means of magnetic resonance imaging. It can be magnetic resonance imaging is a method for identifying the presence of cancer. So either by taking a part of that tissue and analyzing it, or by doing CT scan, or by doing the magnetic resonance or these things. Magnetic resonance means some magnetic waves will be sent on the organ, affected or suspected organ, and when they are reflected back, depending on the reflection waves, a scientist can tell what is the depth of that organ, what is the size of that organ, everything. That is called magnetic resonance. In computer tomography, you will get the picture of that organ itself as it is, and depending on the dimensions of the organ, we can say whether there are tumor cells or not. So these are all investigations, primary diagnostic methods done for studying the cancer. How to treat this one? Treatment we can say. Treatment can be done by 2 or 3 methods again. There are 3 methods of diagnosis. There are 3 causes for cancer and 3 methods of treatment. Remember this point, in 5 marks this can be asked. Explain the causes and treatment for cancer. How will you distinguish, diagnose cancer and how will you treat them? That can be asked. You have to write these 3 points and another 3 points for treatment. Treatment can be done by radiotherapy. Remember this one. Radiotherapy. As we have seen, radiations can cause cancer. Similarly, there are some other radiations which can destroy the cancer cells also. With precision it should be done. So that without affecting the normal healthy organs, surrounding organs, we can destroy the cancer cell by using radiation. That is called radiotherapy. Chemotherapy becomes another method of treating the cancer cells also. Chemotherapy. Different combinations of chemicals are used for avoiding the formation of spindle fibers, for avoiding or preventing the movement of chromosomes, for avoiding the cytokinesis, we can use some chemicals. Those chemicals will prevent the rapid cell division so that a tumor will not be caused in our body. That is called chemotherapy. These combination of drugs will have some side effect also. The affected person may suffer due to weight loss, hair loss and other other what is that, skin damage and other things due to continuous intake of chemicals. So those chemical tablets will affect their physical, what are the other organs also. It has got side effect. In addition to that, there are surgical method for what are the, removing the tumor from the body. Surgery, by doing surgery, you can remove the uterine cancer, fibroids and other things present in our uterus. So open surgery can be done. Tumor organ can be removed easily. But there is one disadvantage in this method also. If any one or two cells are left during that surgery, any one or two cancer cells are left in the body, they may undergo metastasis, they may create malignant cancer in the body. So, by using some proper method, sometimes the combination of all the three methods may be done for a person. There must be usage of some immunosuppressant drugs also for creating this treatment here, just like tissue crafting we have seen. Yeah, same thing. Here also certain drugs, a combination of medicines, post-surgical treatment, post-chemotherapy care, everything must be done for a patient. So, cancer is becoming a dreadful disease, second most dangerous disease affecting our body. Still we do not know the reason, direct reason for it. Genetical reason can also be there, biological means oncogene, genetical reason it can be called. Sometimes cancer can be congenital also. Congenital means from the birth or from the parents. It may be transmitted or it may be inherited also. When these proto-oncogenes are inherited from the parents, they may get triggered at particular age of our lifetime. They will become suddenly cancerous. So different organs of our body are affected by cancer. Depending on that, there are different names for the cancer. Studying about cancer is called oncology. Remember, our connective tissue may be affected by cancer. Our muscle tissue can be affected, nerve tissue can be affected. Different organs like pancreas, liver, uterus, even gonad cancer, like the various types of cancers are possible in our body. Depending on the nature of this thing, diagnostic method, we can follow, we can adapt a proper treatment method. Let me stop with this in this class. In the next class, I will tell you about narcotic drugs and how to use them properly, how we should not abuse them. That we will study in the next class. Let me continue later. Thank you.